Hi everybody, this is Nidhi and you're probably here because you just bought this amazing Epically Ramayan game and you're wondering, how do I play? Don't worry. Today, once you watch this entire video, you will learn a couple of ways how do you play with this Epically Ramayan game. Even though this is a memory game and there are lots of different ways of playing this memory game, but today I want to share at least 3 or 4 different ways to play the memory game depending upon how many players are playing, what is the age group of the player, you can adapt the game. You know, the small game is really packed with a lot of benefits what you can derive. Okay, so let's get started. So when you get this game, it comes with 64 cards. 32 cards are what we lovingly call the art cards because it has all the beautiful art drawn by Devdutt himself. Yes, all the art and the story are inspired by Devdutt. And by the way, I am the product designer for this. That's why I call this game the amazing game. It's almost been, I think, we took almost 1.5 years to design, to articulate the game. But anyways, that is a story for another video. I would love to share it with you someday, how the whole game came about, how many times did we go through the stories to really get what we have right now. Anyways, so what you have is 32 art cards and 32 story cards. As a memory game, typically you can play with 2 or more players, but a memory game is a very powerful tool to improve your memory, to improve your child's short-term memory, build on oh God, all the things are getting out of, I think I need to play the memory game quite a lot. So to build on to their retention, to build on their focus, to build on spatial skills, that's what this Epically Ramayan game, the memory game, can really help you do. So how you start with is, first you start by placing the memory cards. I'm placing it really neatly. I just like it to be little organized. But most kids I've seen, it just gets too messed up when they play and they don't care about it. Actually, the more difficult, the more messy it gets placed up, sometimes it becomes more difficult for children to remember, and you will see in some time how that happens. And it's good it becomes difficult because that is a little more complex positions that they have to remember where the piece is. Okay, once this is done, okay, you can put these 2 here. Okay, the same thing we will do with the art cards. So I'm not really worried because it's got a little messy. So sometimes, so we have given 32 cards in each, which makes it 64. If your child is really young, and by young I mean maybe like 4 years or 5 years, people all the way up to 3 years is also playing it, then you can play with lesser number of cards. You just have to make sure that the same art and story cards are there. This is all based on Ramayana, so just make sure the same characters are there. I've had friends who are playing with their children with as little as 16 cards, so the choice is totally yours. Now, first we'll do the classic style of playing a memory card. And imagine if only one person is playing. Actually, I've started playing it quite a lot. Of course, I've designed it, but I like it because my memory has to improve. And how I am doing is that I'm timing myself. How long do I take to complete this whole memory game in one lot? So the thing, if I'm playing it as a single person, then I pick up this which shows Mandodari, one card, and I pick up this one which says Sita. So of course Sita and Mandodari don't match, and I put it back. Now, okay, small trick. I like to pick up the corners because I remember, oh, this corner is Mandodari and this corner is Sita. Of course, if I pick up something in the middle, I don't remember it that well. So I always pick up so that's my little secret. So this is Manthara and this is Kekai. So you see Manthara and Mandodari, M and M. This is what I mean, you know, the children, they start to make connections, and that's what memory games are all about. And you know, you never get bored of it because never will the same card be at the same place. So every time it's a new game. It's like a game which never gets, like a small game, but you can never get bored out of it. So let's say, I'm not sure. Oh my God, I can't believe it. So this is Sita, all right. And I knew that on the corner we had Sita. So Sita and Sita, that means I get to keep the card. This card is mine, right? So that is one. So as a single player I am playing, I can't win on how many cards I have because I'm the only person. So I count the amount of time I'm taking. So right now, it's shameful, but my time is 22 minutes. I take 22 minutes to finish this game. Yeah, and I know my nephew, he just takes 15 minutes. I have no idea how he does it so fast, but his track record is 15 minutes. Now, if two people are playing it, so I've taken my chance and that's over. Now the second person comes and then they pick up the cards and then they see if it matches, not matches, and then they keep it back. In the end though, we've added a little twist. You know who the winner is? The winner is not the person who has the maximum number of cards. Yes, so we wanted to put in a little surprise at the end, and that's what we did. So you know that Ramayana is from the Sun Dynasty. That is the story of the Sun Dynasty. So we've added these tiny little suns, if you can see. So if I've got Sita, I've got one sun each, which means in total I have two. If I pick up Mandodari, she has 3 suns. So if I would have made Mandodari, then 3 suns from here and 3 suns from the story card, and I would have got 6. That means my total would have been 6 plus 2, 8. And that, so at the end, we've added a little bit of math for the children to do. So the excitement is really high. So they can't guess who the winner is till the time everybody totals up. And most often, the person with the maximum cards does not win. So that is the typical way of playing a memory game, the classic style, so to say. Now I want to share with you another style which many people play, which we have done, keeping in mind where you don't use the story cards. This is, I like to say, guess who? This is when you as a parent may want to play with your child and you want them to know more about Ramayana. You want them to know about the characters. You want them to know about what role they played in the story. So what you do in this case is you place all the cards face up like so. And once the cards are face up, they just pick up. I'm just going to turn all of them up. So now you can see all the cards with the name. So that's not hidden. But what we have done, if you noticed, all the story cards have the name of the character and their role in the story. So like Janak, father of Sita, it's written. But here in this card, it is not going to be written. So you can say, so who was Lakshman? What was his role in the thing? And then the kid would narrate the whole story. So this is more like a story time and some kids who really love Ramayana or who like this kind of a play, they choose to play Guess Who game also. Sometimes the kids don't want to do the story, and that's all right. They just want to say the name, oh, Lakshman, brother of Ram. That's okay too. Okay, so now I want to share with you the fourth way to play epically Ramayan, and this especially works if you have young children, which is maybe 4, 5 years or 6, and sometimes even going up to 7, where they're just learning alphabets, they're just learning words. So this is again a game that you play with face up, the cards which are face up. And here what they're doing is that they're just recognizing the words based on the name on the top. So for example, we have Kuber here and Kuber here. So what I noticed is, and quite honestly, I didn't know about this way of playing the game. It's my niece, and she's I think 5.5 or 6. This is how she likes to play it. She puts it and she tells me, Bua, just keep it upside down. And then she's trying to recognize the construction of the word, and that's how she starts to match. And it's amazing how kids innovate, so it's really nice. So like if you see Kuber and Kuber, so what they are matching is that she sees that K and K is similar, and this is different from KK. And look how cute the artwork is. Like Kuber, he looks so sweet. So that's what, it just gives it a different playtime to them. And then of course, this is just a conversation starter. Early on, as at Epically, our aim is to create games which bring our children closer to our mythology, closer to our culture, the Indian culture, and the stories are talked about. So once they start talking about it, they see it, they play it a couple of times, and suddenly one day you will see they come and ask you, Mom, who's Kuber? Or Dad, who's Kuber? And then, you know, the whole storyline can flow from you. So my sister, she has a young daughter, and she tells me that, come on, what the hell have you done? Now I have to go through my Ramayan, all like really go in depth. Like she didn't know who Ahilya is or who are Urmila, like what kind of a role Urmila played. Somehow I have to say this whole thing about Urmila sleeping for 14 years is the most intriguing part for most children in this game. That's what I'm getting to hear a lot on Instagram as well. So thank you so much for listening to this rather long explanation. So this game is really for kids as young as 3 and as old as me. It works at all levels. This game, we just launched it 1 month back, and I'm so glad and so happy that hundreds of people have bought it all across India. We ship it up internationally as well. So yeah, keep playing and do let us know. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are at Epically by Devdutt. Come and tell us your story. Tell us if you have invented a new way to play the game. We would love to hear from you. Bye for now, and see you again. Bye.